If you're wondering what the B in Bidenomics stands for, it's borrowing. Borrowed money and borrowed time. Look, government deficits are way above $1 trillion once again and going north. More and more Bidenomics spending is becoming more and more Bidenomics debt. Do you get it? And of course, households are borrowing too because of inflation. Credit cards, buy now, pay later. Raiding money from your 401k, that's happening at new highs. All of it with interest rates rising. The country's borrowing its way through Bidenomics, and so are families. But look, it can't last, and every honest person knows it. Rating agencies just downgraded America's credit rating, and households are falling further behind on credit card payments and car payments. The hard truth is borrowed money lives on borrowed time, and the clock is ticking. Now, the good news is the clock says it's time for Charles Payne to join us. He's here in studio with us. Charles, good to see you.
You too.
Here's the thing. So we got earnings from Walmart this week. We saw TJ Maxx. The headline was that consumer's still strong. Good news. But do you read it that way? I mean, especially with the borrowing story, is the consumer really in that good a shape?
Yeah, I think these headlines are extremely misleading, and a lot of it has to do with, we talk about a lot, this whole nominal thing versus inflation adjusted. But I took a specific look yesterday at Target. This is, by the way, a great lesson for the viewer. There's a major difference between beating the street and being good or great, right? They're not the same thing. Yeah. So, give you an example. Same-store sales for Target Walmart up 6.5%. The street was looking for 4%. Whoa, that's strong. That was the slowest same-store sales growth in the last 5 quarters. I didn't go back any further. And within that same-store sales growth, what we saw, what was really up a lot was visits to the store. That's associated when people are scrimping, right? They go in and they buy a little bit of things at a time. You'll buy one can of soda and come back the next day, right? You're not sure. What really dropped though was the transaction, the price. So the price almost was half of what it was a year ago. So that's the worst combination. And of course, they did say general merchandise was down. People were buying the bare necessities and essentials and pharmaceuticals. Other than that, if you take all of that, if it wasn't for food and food inflation, by the way, that would have actually been a disaster of a report. But within that report, it told the true story of the American consumer. And by the way, the San Francisco Fed came out and says we only have $200 billion of that free money left.
Yeah, third quarter of this year could run out.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you teased that out because the headlines are misleading. We've been talking about that as a theme, throughout, whether it's company earnings or inflation numbers that are coming out from the government, just showing you where we are from last year. When you look in aggregate, the picture is a lot harder. What I'm concerned about is a little bit of what's happening globally right now. 3 big flashing sort of warning signs for me this week from China, right? Cutting interest rates, saying we're not going to report youth unemployment, must mean it's so bad they can't report it. Right. And now the Wall Street Journal headline today talking about the property sector, which was already troubled, and potentially one of their flagship companies having a Lehman moment. So what are the ripple effects that could bring, trouble back here at home when things are a little bit rocky?
On the credit side, certainly those, because we're worried about a credit issue here, we don't want to see any credit issues around the world. So Evergrande filing U.S. bankruptcy, that's their top property developer. We know Country Garden has already been in the news, to your point, for over a week. I think probably the most problematic is the youth unemployment, young adults. At 21%, they say we're going to stop counting because for years, particularly the last 3 or 4 years, there's been a battle. And President Xi over there has tried to say, listen, my kids aren't going to be like Japanese kids or American kids. They're not going to lie flat. So a couple of months ago was graduation season, and all of these kids who graduated from college, they had their cap and gowns on, laying on the floor, laying on the ground, lying flat. It's almost a protest. And so, these economies that are built on so much debt, to your point, to so much borrowing, you can't build any more ghost cities. They can't push a button and create magic money and create a magic economy anymore. That lever has run out, and now it's the youth who are paying the price for it. Yep.
One of the big stories we've been talking about all week, certainly again today, is big tech. A few of the big tech stocks coming back maybe into correction territory, about a 10% decline from some of the recent highs that we had really just about a month ago. For me, it is also a huge rates story, the rate of change within these bond yields. How are you thinking about big tech in this moment?
Big tech is really, really interesting, and it got more interesting overnight. There's a company out, a Dutch company. Adrian, you guys familiar with that? It's a process. They process payments. One of the hottest stocks out there, down 40%. And the reason it's so compelling is because it was one of the hottest stocks. That meant it had some of the highest valuations. We've already seen Apple come down. It's gapped down, and it's been coming down. Tesla's coming down hard. Everyone's watching this NVIDIA report. I mean, NVIDIA is going to have to be a savior of sorts, or we could see a pretty significant, ouch moment for technology. I mean, listen, the big story is still there, the macro story, the fourth industrial revolution. Do they get ahead of their skis from time to time? The answer is definitely yes. So it's something to watch. And as far as these bond yields, I can't figure it out. There's so many different potential messages there. I will say this. I had Jim Grant on the show 3 weeks ago. He says we're going to go into this three to 4 decade long bond bear market. And every guest I've asked since then has kind of blown him off. In fact, Wall Street, they're loading up on bonds right now. They're buying the dip. But if they're wrong, they're going to pay a big price for it.
Echoes similar sentiments. Jason Trennert over at Strategas, who I know that we have on this program, saying that watch out because those higher yields just mean higher borrowing costs for the federal government as well. So it folds back into not only big tech, but your story too.
It's a very bad time to be racking up national debt when you're watching interest rates move.
I tried to take your theme. So for Biden, the B was borrowing.
Yeah.
I got borrowing, I infinite, D debt, E economy, and N the economy being numb. So I tried to work with you there, my man. I tried to work with you.
What a poet.
Stay with us.
Okay.
We want to get your thoughts on the next story, of course, that we're following. It is the problems that keep piling up for home buyers. Mortgage rates soaring to the highest level in more than 20 years, now about 7%. Some say actually 8% could be in the cards. Fox Business's Madison Allworth joins us live from Hillsborough Township, New Jersey. Madison.
Hey, Taylor, yeah, so mortgage rates for 30-year now hitting over 7%. That's the highest rate that we've seen in 2 decades. That not only makes it hard for people that are looking to buy a home, it also makes it less likely for those that own a home to sell it. So if you take a look, we estimate that about 59% of homeowners have a mortgage rate of 3.5% or less. If they sell, they are then taking on a 7% mortgage. That's why the only people selling homes right now are those that absolutely have to.
So the people that are selling right now are the ones that are going through a major life event, job relocation, a divorce, a death in the family, an estate sale, something like that will cause them to sell. Most people are not selling right now just to move for a new backyard or a pool or something a little fancier. They're really only going to do it if they have to do it.
Inventory is tight and only expect to get tighter with this high rate. That helps push sticker prices even higher. Take the home that I stand in, for example. The owners purchased it in 2021 for just over $360,000. In just 2 years and 1 kitchen renovation later, they could be getting $500,000 for this home in just 2 years. And now the sellers of this home, they are in that category of must sell. They are a married couple and the wife is in her 3rd trimester, so their family is expanding. They're very close to closing is what we're hearing. The issue is they don't have their new home yet. So they're expecting to rent from their new owners for a month while they figure out where the heck they're going to move, because the issue is 7% rates, potentially going even higher. They're able to sell, but getting in a home themselves, whole different story. I'll send it back to you guys.
Yeah, that's a serious problem. Madison Allworth, thank you so much. And Charles, I want to get your reaction to that because, if you're having a life event, you're forced to sell, obviously, you're going to have to do it. Having said that, most people are saying, unless I'm an empty nester or need to downsize or something, right, I'm just staying put. So this market will just stall.
And it has ripple effects. I mean, we're seeing the fewest amount of people travel from state to state for a new job ever. And it's not work from home, it's work I'm being tethered to home. I can't leave it. But it's even worse, obviously, for people buying a house. So a 20% down house, and you say you wanted your payment to be $2,500. In 2020, you could have afforded a house that was $750,000. Now with that same scenario, your house you could afford, the top price is $443,000.
Oh, wow.
It's like almost half.
Yeah.
And prices are going up.
Yeah.
So you're going to get
That's
less for your 400.
Right.
Wow.
Interesting, though. Buffett bullish on home builder stocks. We learned that from his annual Berkshire Hathaway meeting. So some people certainly are still very much excited
Well,
about
home
the
builders,
home builder market.
they're in the sweet spot because no one's selling. There's no supply. Yeah, he put $800 million into 3 home builders, but you know, it's an unfortunate scenario though. They're in a catbird seat to a degree because if you want to buy a house, there's no existing home sales on the market. Very few. Although there's a record amount of homes in construction at this very moment, so we may be having a different conversation a year from now if they can get rates down a little bit, and we may a year from now be talking about oversupply. Right now, the home builders are in control.
You know, over the years, I've talked with you about home ownership, the independence of home ownership, how much it matters, kind of the fabric of America. When you look at what's going on right now, does this worry you?
It worries me that some people will give up on the notion, you know, and instead of saying, okay, you know what, why save right now? We're in a YOLO society. Young people are living for the moment. You look at those retail sales, restaurant sales through the roof. I mean, they're still going to restaurants. They're still traveling. They're not doing the things traditionally everyone else did. And it's around the world, right? It's the same thing. It happened in Japan. It happens in China. The kids want to live in the moment in part because they don't have faith that if I save up my money, I'll be able to buy a house, right?
And when you feel that way, it's sort of demoralizing. It's like,
it really
I might as
is.
well,
It really is.
You know, spend on the services, spend on the experiences, but then you don't really have a lot to show for it. Charles, thank you.
All right, it's great.
Always
It's always great to see you guys.
especially on a Friday.
In person, yeah.
All right, make sure to tune into Making Money with Charles Payne weekdays, 2 p.m. Eastern, right here on Fox Business after this show.